Welcome to this LEX 18 Digital Conversation. I'm Davidson. Do you know where to take your child in the case of an emergency? Which local hospital offers the care and especially the emergency care that you need? Joining me now are doctors, let's see, I'm going to have to pull out my good old-fashioned glasses, Scotty Day and Landon Jones. They're both with Kentucky Children's Hospital. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the specializations that Kentucky Children's Hospital has, say, to an urgent treatment care or some of the other hospitals maybe that we have in our state.
Okay. I think one of the biggest things that we have is really the pediatric specialization. So we have, pediatric specific nursing staff, we have pediatric, specific attending staff, we have all these resources for children. I think that's one huge difference that's actually between like an urgent care treatment center and, the pediatric emergency department.
Now for a parent, that makes a big difference, but if I'm a little person, what does that all mean for me when I'm coming in there? Because, when we see children who are suffering from these life-threatening illnesses, or even if they just have a boo-boo, going to the hospital or seeing the doctor is a big thing. So explain that to me if I'm 5 years old and I'm going to the hospital. What does pediatric centered mean?
Well, in the first thing is when you walk through the doors kind of thing. The waiting area, if you end up spending time in the waiting area is all, it's all child friendly. There's interactive things on the walls. It's a more fun place.
So it kind of takes the teeth out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, emergency facility. Many times if something happens and you're home with your child and something crazy happens, first thing sometimes you think of is urgent treatment or maybe they're a pediatrician. Why bring them to Children's Hospital?
So in the Children's Hospital, we have every single specialty that's offered. And so our idea is we want to take care of the child. So the McKenna-David Emergency Department has all-encompassing services. So you see the ER doc, but then you have a cardiologist, or you have a GI, or you have those specialists readily available. So.
And you even have Jared's Joy Cart, right?
We do have Jared's Joy Cart, which is an amazing partnership that's been along for a long, long time. And really, I consider it a legacy partnership. And what that's an example of is an example of the people of the state having an experience in creating something. And Jennifer Minear and family creating the Jared's Joy Cart because of their experience. And now it provides toys. It provides so much more than that in resources to these families, for many families from all over the state.
Why do physicians enjoy this particular practice of medicine? Because it's a difficult profession anyway, but then you see these little faces looking up at you, sort of like, help me, and it's got to tear at your heart.
It does, and I think that as a physician, being a part of a family, some of these families you talk about, like Jared's, and then you think about McKenna-David and all those, and it's not just those, but you are a part of their family. And even as we walked into your building today, we had someone say, you know what? We had children that were fostered, that were taken care of, and you guys were like family. And you can call off the name, they'll say Dr. Ruzick or Dr. Jones or Dr. Day or Dr. I can go on and on.
Right.
But it's that personalization. That's why we love it. I mean, we're a part of the family, and you think sometimes the outcome's not always what you want it to be, but there's nothing more rewarding than getting a note 15 years later from a child who may have just almost died to say, you know what, I'm getting ready to go to college. Or we had one recently that was very, very sick. Guess what? I'm going to be a recruit for a national soccer team.
Wow.
And you can say that was that brief moment in time, which for those families, I tell them, I said, this is going to be the longest part of your life, but 10 years from now, the hope is it'll be one sentence, and the sentence will say, yeah, when he was 5 or she was 5, he was in ICU. What turns into many, many days turns into one sentence of a story, and we get to be a part of that.
That's outstanding. Let's talk a bit about the treatment of children once they come in to the hospital. Is it the same as when, say, I'm admitted to a hospital? Do you go through the same practice? I'm sure this is all covered by insurance and all that good stuff. What can parents expect?
Well, when they come in the door, there's actually two different doors. So there's the McKenna-David Pediatric Emergency Center, and then there's the Adult Emergency Department at UK as well. And when you come in, you will be directed to the Pediatric Emergency Department. And in the Pediatric Emergency Department, again, we have the pediatric-specific nursing staff. We have pediatric, dedicated physicians that are there all over the walls. There are pictures. It's all a very nice and beautiful place.
But now you do have ambulance service, so if my child needed to be immediately transported by ambulance or air vac, You have those facilities as
Right,
well?
the EMS would bring them to us, yes.
Okay, so a parent would just have to say, please direct to
Well,
them to.
yeah, they would have to say, yes, please take me to the UK Pediatric Emergency Department.
All right, sounds good. We here in Lexington, when I say we, we're lucky to just drive down Nicholasville Road and we're right there. But this is not just for Central Kentucky. You service everybody, right?
Everybody from West Virginia to Ohio to all central and eastern Kentucky. In many ways, I feel like, not to steal the big blue nation,
Sure,
but
sure.
kind of part of it is and it's part of what people feel is the mission. Our mission is to take care of the people of Kentucky and to serve the children of the Commonwealth.
Right.
And so we get people from Pikeville to Harlan to, from Bowling Green across the state come to our children's hospital. And we're very honored for that.
But it's not just for the children of the Commonwealth. There are many physicians, I'm sure, that are world-renowned that draw children from elsewhere, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have one of the top congenital heart programs, I feel like, in the state. I feel like we continue to grow multiple programs and pediatric specialties because it is about being at home, but it's also about giving national, world-renowned care right here in Lexington, Kentucky for the state.
And talking about home, the Ronald McDonald House is there too. That's a partnership, isn't it?
That is a partnership. And for us, it's how do we provide the best care, not just for the child, but for the whole family, right? We have families coming from all over. So the partnership with the Ronald McDonald House Charity has been around for a long time, actually. And they even have a presence in our hospital. Some of our areas in our waiting room are there. They provide, sometimes they come in and provide food and drinks in addition to providing the housing when the families are there. And they are so essential to the mission for us to help take care of the families.
I remember when I was a little girl, I got so excited because I had to have my adenoids removed. I was a little snorer when I was little. And, I was so excited about going in. How should a parent sort of prepare a little person to go in for anything from, say, their adenoids or tonsils being taken out to something even more serious? What would be your advice, Doctor?
I think one of the big things, whenever they're going to the emergency department, is just telling them, hey, listen, we're going to be safe, okay? And that's the biggest thing. And where you're going, the people love you.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big thing.
And I think the other part is when you come in for some of the procedures, there's actually a program we do for children through some trauma-informed care, and Dr. Marsack and some of their team, they've created these different models so kids play.
Right.
So there's times that kids have they're going to have MRIs that may determine things that we never want to dream of in our child.
Right.
And so although the kid doesn't really understand it, they probably feel that. Well, our child life team will go and let them, there's a little play area, it's actually quite cute.
Yeah.
They'll take their animal, Winnie the Pooh's going to get an MRI, and
Right.
Winnie the Pooh's going to get an IV,
Right.
and talking them through that play, research shows it makes a huge difference in the way they handle it.
Yeah, it seems like we did a story recently about some dolls that were
Yes.
created, yes,
Yes.
where doctors can actually draw out on the little doll to show a child exactly what's happening to them. Do you find those are helpful as well?
Oh, very helpful. So when you come to the sedation procedure suite, actually the child, if they're old enough, they'll get to put a play IV
Right.
into it to
Oh,
say,
cool.
oh, it's, yeah, I know. And then they get to draw on it and make pictures on it. And so it's really a coping mechanism that honestly I think adults could do really good.
Oh, well, I was going to say, sometimes, we have so many questions and we get caught up in, once we hear a diagnosis, we kind of forget to listen
Yeah.
to the rest
Yeah.
of the story.
Yeah.
So there might be something that we would want to even look to for adults. We talked a little bit about Shriners Hospital.
Yes.
That's another partnership as well,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
absolutely. It's another example of how do we provide world-renowned care close to home. It's a partnership between Shriners Facility, which is just an amazing facility to provide surgical care, and the UK orthopedic department's part of it. We have rheumatology, and it's really a partnership. So where does the patient be? And it's really just a bridge. Basically, you're walking across a bridge between the two facilities. So.
If you wanted to describe your emergency facility and put it up against anyone in the nation, what would you say?
Put it up against anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple. It's
Yeah.
very, very simple. I'd put it up against absolutely anybody.
Head and shoulders,
Head,
huh?
shoulders, yeah.
And shoulders.
Indeed.
It's a
Yeah,
family-friendly, child-friendly environment. And in many ways, we talk about people coming in and we're open doors to everybody.
Yep.
I mean, that's what we're here for all the time.
Right. Well, doctors, thank you so very much for stopping by and sharing this gem with us. And we thank you so much for watching this LEX18 Digital Conversation. For more digital conversations, just log on to lex18.com. Until next time, I'm Dia Davidson.